Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the What the Real Podcast. I'm your host Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
So on this episode, what are we doing today?
Today we're going to be reviewing The Woman in the Yard.
Yeah, we did the trailer reaction to this.
Yes.
Looked creepy, right?
Yes, and the movie was totally different than I was expecting from the trailer. I was not expecting it to be a conflict with herself.
Yeah.
Versus a demon or a spirit or something trying to mess with them.
Yeah. Definitely. Overall, I did like this movie. I thought it was like a solid horror movie, but it definitely plays on the I guess her head state of the main character, the what's her name? Ramona. Like the whole family's going through grief, and it's showing how she's dealing with that grief, and I'm sure hers is even worse because because of what she did and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be like that. And then like towards the end, you're like, oh, okay, I understand. She just did this, but then they kind of switch it up even more a little bit, and then at the end they're like, yeah, fuck you. We're switching it even more at the end.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was good. I liked the shots. There was a lot of cool shots.
Yes.
They did a lot of like different camera angles, like legit, like tilted camera angles. I thought it was kind of cool. Definitely got you intrigued of what the whole thing was going on. Like, why is this, figure here and all that stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was interesting how they were having like flashes of like her like hurting her children.
Yeah.
And
you're thinking like, wait, did she kill her kids or something like that? Were you watching the others again?
I was like, she's having some internal conflicts going on right now.
Yeah, it definitely got trippy. Like the movie gets super trippy, like trying to figure out what's real and what's not. I thought it was good. I think the lady who played Ramona did a really good job acting.
Yes.
Like, she's really good.
Agreed.
Really, really good acting in this. I wish the actual woman was a little bit more creepier, I guess.
Yeah, but when she spoke and she was like, today's the day.
Yeah.
I thought that was creepy. But other than that,
Yeah.
I thought her creepiness wasn't there anymore. Just when she said today's the day, I was like, yo, that's creepy as heck.
Yeah.
And then everything else she said was just like, no, it's just like, it was just trying to find out the truth about stuff.
Yeah, what's going on? Why are you here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like she was it's crazy like she's the main character because she's like what she did was kind of messed up, like how she was she wanted to leave her family, like she does not care. Obviously I guess they're both making sacrifices to get this new house, and then she was fine with it at that point, and then she was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to live here anymore. Like to the point where she was ready to leave him and the kids. Like she just wanted to get the hell out of there.
I
like the struggle between her and the kids. I like that as well. Overall, I thought it was good. It's very short.
Yeah, it was only like an hour and like 20 minutes.
Yeah, very short. I wish they had a little. I mean, it didn't it was short, but they used the time wisely.
Yes.
I just wish they kind of maybe had a little bit more time to build some stuff up. Maybe I don't know. I wanted more from the woman, like the whole sitting stuff. Like I'm thinking, oh my god, she's about to go after him. And then once she got there, it was, I wouldn't say as good as I wanted it to be. Like when she actually got in the house where all the shadow and stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of just like ran from her, and that was it.
Yeah, I know. I wanted more of that. I was just like, they finished with the conflict too fast.
Yeah.
In the movie, I feel like they dealt with her very little, and then it was just over.
Yeah, I think they could have had, once she got in the house, maybe mess with their minds even more. Like, I thought the whole reason they were like pitting, I thought she was like pitting the kids against her, you know? Like,
yeah.
I want to see more of that, like, you know, but yeah, we didn't get that.
No.
But I thought that was her thing. Like, oh, she's trying to, you know, pit the family against each other, and you know, maybe she's feeding off of the, you know, that. But no.
Yeah.
No. All right. Let's go ahead and break it down.
Okay. Do you want to start or should I start?
It's up to you.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
So so it has a man saying that he had a dream about them having this house. The house was ready, their family's ready, and they wanted to name it and stuff like that. And it was a video. It turned out to be a video of her husband. But we didn't know at this point that he was dead yet.
Yeah.
It was just a video, but you could tell there was some grief because she was watching the video over again. And then her son comes in and was like, "Mom, the power's out." And yeah, and then she's just all sad. And then you see her get out of bed and she has a leg brace on, and you're like, okay, something definitely happened.
Yeah, and her leg is messed up too. Like, she had a heavy duty brace on, like she could barely move.
Yeah.
When she was getting out of there. And then she goes in, she says hi to her daughter Annie.
Yes.
In the room, who was smiling at her, but then as soon as she left the room, she like frowned like right away.
Yes.
So it was showing like, all right, something is up. I think they showed also that I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but they showed her that her phone was dead. I guess she went to go check her phone, or was that after? No, I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah, I think they showed that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we see the son, Taylor.
Yeah, he's feeding the animals.
Yeah.
He gets eggs and gets the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's trying to make breakfast, but the stove won't work.
Yeah.
So he's looking for a lighter. So he goes to the attic, and he finds a lighter in there, I guess, in his dad's stuff.
Yeah. David.
Yeah. Was it Davis or David?
David, right? I think it's David.
It's either Davis or David. Oh,
David. Yeah.
Okay. That was Davis for some reason.
Yeah, it was like a box that had his name on it, that has stuff in it.
Yeah. And then it shows her phone with no battery.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah, after that, it shows her phone with no battery. So she can't even call the power company to let them know that they need power. So the SOL.
Yeah, power went out.
So he cooks for the family. He's making eggs, making breakfast for it. And the mom's like, "What did you put in this?" And he's like, "Doritos." And she's like, "Doritos." And he's like, "What? I like Doritos in my eggs." And Annie's like, "Me too."
Yeah. So we see like he's doing more for the family because obviously mother's hurting. She's tore her leg
checked out.
So it's literally probably, within a month of the accident, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Because the car is still in the yard. You would think they would just got impounded or, somewhere else. The car's chilling in the yard. And she still had her stitches. So it's, fairly.
It's probably within like 2 weeks of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because stitches last like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, so yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
yeah.
We see the dog, Charlie. He comes in and pukes all over the floor.
Yes.
She's like, what'd you do? He's like, I fed him because I fed him real food because we ran out of food. Obviously, they're no car and they haven't been going anywhere. They've been in the house for a while.
Yes.
And they live pretty far from their neighbor.
Yes. Like a mile away or something like that, right?
Yeah. So she tells him so this kind of shows a little bit, there's a little tension between them because she tells him, hey, to bring the Charlie outside. And he's like, well, I'm still eating. And she was like, no, do it now. Like she was, and then he looked at her real hard and then he took Charlie outside. Oh, one thing that happened, which I actually kind of like. So when Taylor's taking Charlie outside, they show Ramona and she's like looking out the window, and then you see like windshield wipers within the reflection of the window, and then you kind of see like you kind of hear car noises and stuff like that. So it's kind of showing like a flashback a little bit, so showing that she's thinking about what happened. Then you see it almost sounds like a car accident, and then she kind of wakes up.
Yeah, and then Taylor comes inside and he goes, "There's a woman in the yard, Mom," and they have no clue who she is. They're just looking outside, wondering who she is, and the mom's like, "I'm gonna go talk to her."
Yeah.
So she goes outside. She doesn't get too close, but she gets a little close, and she's like, "Ma'am, do you need help? Are you okay? Can I help you out?" And stuff like that. And then she's like, "Today's the day." That's like my favorite part. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. I just like the way she says it.
Also, it was kind of creepy. We find out a little bit later, but right before she walked up to her, she was like mumbling. And then the lady goes, "How did I get here?" I wrote down. She's like, how do I get here? And we learn that later on how that worked out. But, and then what? She asked her, "What's your name?" And then the lady is like, "Oh, I noticed you have a ring on your finger." And then asking about her husband and stuff like that. And she was saying that her husband bought this house as a fixer-upper.
Yep.
So I'm thinking like from this part, I'm thinking maybe they bought the house. So maybe this lady died in the house or something. Maybe she's connected to this house.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking because why is there some ghost showing up,
Exactly. Exactly.
The lady told Ramona that she just needs to disappear. And then her husband's not going to be coming home based on the truck. And then they show like the cover of the truck goes up.
Like the wind, the wind, yeah.
And it shows the truck all damaged. We see Ramona tell the woman to leave. Says,
"If you're okay, then I'm going to need you to get off my property." So.
Oh, and the lady said, "You called and I came."
Yeah.
So they're kind of telling you right now, like what was going on, but obviously we don't know, but they kind of, teasing it right there.
Yeah. Eventually you find out it's this conflict with herself.
And then she shows the woman shows her hands and they're bloodied.
Yes.
And then.
But you see the chickens.
Yeah.
The chickens are all dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead. Every single one of them.
And then Ramona like runs away. Well, hobbles away in her crutches. She runs back into the house. I think she grabs some keys or something like that. And goes to the car to try to charge the phone. Try to start the car and wouldn't start while she was trying to charge the phone. And then she goes back into the house. And then we see Taylor's, asking like, what's going on? Like what the hell?
Why is she there? What's going on?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, she's just some lady from a retirement home who escaped."
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor's like, "Well, we need to call someone." And she's like, "My phone battery is dead. I can't call anyone." Yeah. And she's like, "Well, maybe I'll go to the neighbor's house and contact someone."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "You're not going anywhere."
And then Taylor was like, he says that we should get the dad's gun.
Yes.
He said, "If you don't get it, I will." And then we see another thing, like she is not right in her mind. When he says that, she slams the mug onto the ground.
Yes. And he found this mug.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention, he found this mug in the box of his dad's stuff.
Yeah. And it was a really cool shot how they did it. Like it was just out of nowhere, and the camera turned to it, and she just slammed it on the ground, and like it was kind of like out of nowhere. Like,
yeah.
So we see like she's definitely had problems. Like before the accident, she had problems, and this is even worse.
Yeah. And then the little girl's like, "Oh, then she's telling him to go to his room." So he goes into the other room and he sits down in a chair and he's watching her outside.
Yeah.
And then the little girl is like, "I think she moved up closer."
Yeah. She's like, yeah.
Looked out the window and bam, she is closer.
Sitting closer. And then we see a shadow coming from the woman, and it actually goes to the car, and it kind of like, I don't, it like grabs the car, and then you see like, I don't know, was the air coming out of the tires or something? It was like the car was like sinking down.
Yeah.
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 We see a scene where Ramona's like, she's sitting on the couch and she's messing with her stitch.
Yeah.
Her stitches, and she starts pulling on it, and it's just longer and longer, like one big ass stitch, and then like there's a big clot of blood like pops out with it, you know.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up, and then she looks at it, and like it was fine.
So this right here, you can already tell she's conflicting with herself.
Yeah.
This is one of the first things you can tell she's having problems, like she's imagining things, and that's leading up to what you're going to find out what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely letting you know, her mental state is not all that.
Yeah.
There.
And then she goes and she's helping her kid with writing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, Mom, does this look right? Purple. And she's like, Sweetie, the hump goes the opposite way in the R. Like this. Try again. And so she tries it. And then she's like, I'm going to go look for Charlie. So she goes looking for Charlie. She goes outside and Charlie's missing.
Yeah.
Now here I am, a mess, thinking, oh my gosh, how can they kill off the dog?
Yeah. So as I like towards the end, I'm thinking, I had like a theory, like maybe they were already in that mirror world, because Annie kept on writing that R backwards. So I'm thinking maybe they're already there. Every time she wrote that R, it was always backwards.
Yeah.
Even when they told her, hey, no, this is not right, you got to do it again, she did it again, wrote an R backwards.
Oh, I didn't put two and two together. Oh.
So maybe it already happened, and this is already just going through like her head.
Wow. You'll find out about the mirror world in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so she goes, looks for Charlie. And then there's like a chain. His chain is on the ground, and like she's like pulling on it, and it's like in the ground. And then she pulls it, and there's just the end of the chain. And then they don't show, right? They don't show anything after that.
No, they just go inside. And then Taylor wakes up, and he's like, what happened? Where's Charlie? What's going on? And he sees that the mom has mud like on her bottom of her shoe and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, nothing. Charlie's fine and stuff like that. And
then right there. Oh, so another quick scene. So when she was pulling that chain, they actually showed like a quick shot of a face. And I think it was the lady.
Oh, I must have missed that.
It was like a quick shot. But when she was talking to Taylor, I don't know if you noticed, but she had the knife like on the arm of the couch.
Yes, I didn't notice that.
She was like kind of hiding it.
Yeah. And then Taylor wants to drive the Jeep to go get help, and the mom says no. So Taylor's throwing the ball. He's bouncing it off the wall, and the mom's like, stop it. And he just keeps doing it. So she gets up, she grabs the ball, and she throws it out the window.
Yeah. Just slowly going crazier. And then he ends up calling her a bitch under his breath.
Yeah. He's like, what?
He's like, I'm not calling you a bitch. I'm just saying you acting like a bitch. Yeah. He made sure to say that, or you want to get slapped upside his head. And then she actually yells at that's when she yells at Annie about the backwards R, because she keeps on writing it backwards.
Yeah, right. She's like, you need to get it right.
Yeah.
The R goes this way. Yeah. You need to understand. I don't want you to write it the other way again. Understand me now.
Yep.
Like, she was nasty to her. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God, woman.
Yep. She's slowly ramping up her anger and like paranoia. Like, it's crazy. Like it literally is pointing to like, I really thought like, all right, maybe she killed the kids, you know?
Yeah.
You know, maybe she did something to them, or maybe, something, you know? Because that, like I said, that's what it seemed like. That was why the woman was there. That's why she wanted to tell Taylor what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I kind of threw it. It was a lot of like different, you know, not what curveballs or just kind of misdirections with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then she tells Annie, "Hey, I'm sorry," and then she picks her up. While she's picking her up, she's looking in the mirror, and then she sees herself stabbing Annie in the back.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap.
With the freaking the knife. And then we see Taylor looking at her, and then she looks up, and then she's actually stabbing the pillow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I'm surprised like he didn't even say anything. I was like, why are you stabbing a pillow? Like, I don't know. It's wild.
I think he wanted to say something. He just kept his mouth shut because he didn't want any trouble. He's like, if she's stabbing a pillow, who knows what else she's gonna stab?
Yeah, exactly. He's like scared. You can definitely see the tension between, especially with Taylor and Ramona.
Yeah.
And then we hear Annie screaming, and she was in the kitchen, and she actually. So she wasn't stabbed. She was in the kitchen and she like stepped on glass or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably the glass. Was it the glass from the mug that she threw, right?
Probably.
It had to have been that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then so the mom's like, "Oh, I'll go fix her up." So Taylor grabs the Jeep keys and goes out to the car, and he tries to start it, but he can't get it to start. So he tries. Well, first he tries to get out there without the woman in black seeing him. And she turns her head and just notices him, goes there. So he goes in, he tries to start it, and then the woman in black is coming in, and she's using her shadow powers to scare him.
Yeah.
And then the mom, like, he goes to go outside, and he thinks it's the woman in black, but it's the mom. And she's like, "What are you doing out here?
Yeah.
I told you to stay inside."
Yeah, he swings on her like pretty hardcore, thinking it's a woman, and they actually show the woman disappear from the chair for a second.
Yes.
And then she's like pissed off at him, and then he actually yells at her. So the kid. That's when Taylor actually yells at Ramona for like not telling him what's going on. He's like, obviously there's something going on. Obviously there's something with this lady, and you're not telling us. You're not giving us the answers. Yeah. And then that's when she throws something at him. She goes off again, and she like chucks something at his head.
Yes.
And then he just like looks at her, he's like, "What the hell?" And then that's when he's like, "F it," and then he goes for the gun. That's when he goes and grabs the gun, and then we see the woman in the yard actually gets closer at that time. So I'm thinking the woman's getting closer. The kids are, Taylor and Ramona are fighting. Maybe the woman wants to create a tension between them, and that's growing her stronger,
Yes.
Maybe she's feeding off the energy from the anger and all that. That's why she's getting closer. That's what I'm thinking. Not just the sun going down,
You would think.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Then he gets the gun and then locks his mother in the room. He breaks the handles to the doors. Locks her in.
Then he goes to confront the woman in black. The woman,
yep.
And he's like, "What are you doing here? What do you want?" And she's like, "Your mom's lying to you about what happened that night."
Yeah.
And so she makes him go talk to the mom about what happened. And the mom tells the story of how she didn't want to be there. She tells the story.
Just before, during that scene though, I wrote, he like was pointing at the gun, and then we see her shadow go up and touch the wind chime.
Oh,
and then he looks back, and then she gets closer. And then he goes, "Hey, you need to talk to your mother because she's lying to you."
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's So we see, he's like, "Hey, obviously you need to tell me what's going on. Obviously you're lying." I'm surprised the woman let him back in the house. Like, why shouldn't you just grab him?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking like, all right, she's not trying to kill him because she could have killed him there, but she's just trying to cause tension, but I guess not. So yeah, she's telling the story about how they went to dinner. Ramona and David went to dinner, and they're obviously having problems because I guess they were they lived in the city, but they moved to the this country area, and at first she was okay with it, but then she was not okay with it. She wasn't happy.
Yeah, she wanted to work.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, you can't. Yeah. And then they want to fix up the house. But she's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah. And he was like, you said okay to all this. So like, what the hell's going on? So obviously they're kind of, hinting the fact there's something wrong with her. She might have serious case of bipolar or something. Like,
yeah.
There's something, then we see her grab the keys and walk away, like leave.
Yeah. And he follows her, and they get in the car together, and then they get into the car accident.
Yeah, it starts raining. She's driving, and then she looks in the mirror, and then she sees the woman, like the full body of the woman, and then she continues driving, and then she looks again, and then she sees the face with the actual shot gunshot wound, and then that's when she crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she actually, which is kind of crazy. So maybe she was dead. Maybe she died. I don't know. Maybe she was dead too. And she's in this mirror world. That's why the R's are always backwards. Maybe she died then. Maybe she died in the car accident. Who knows? So Annie, while they're telling this story, Annie sees the ball that Ramona threw outside.
Yeah, it comes bouncing back in through the window.
And then she goes grab the ball, and then we see the lady, the shadow of the lady in the background in the room with her. We see the shadow start grabbing things in the room. And then she can see the lady in the mirror. And then she starts like grabbing after the girl. And then we hear her scream.
Yeah. She's like trashing the house with her powers and stuff like that. And they're like running away from her. And then they go up to the attic.
Yeah, and they're getting chased. See, I wanted more. I wanted some more like, all right, she's finally in the house. Now she's like actually haunting them or something like that. Instead of just trying to grab them with the shadow powers. I want to see them like, all right, now I'm here. Now I'm really going to mess with your heads. You know what I'm saying? Really going to torment you guys in your heads and make you go after each other. But no, it's more of she was just trying to grab them.
Yeah.
They go upstairs. And then I don't know how Ramona knew, but she knew that it was the shadows because they were closing the blinds, and then you see a knife lift up, like grabbed the knife.
Yeah.
And they put covered the blinds, and it fell to the ground.
Yeah.
So she knew. She's like, oh, covered the windows and all that stuff. So when they're up there in the attic,
the woman in black is talking to Annie, saying she's gonna bring her home. The next thing you know, Annie disappears, and the mom goes and looks for her.
Yeah, because it was really cool. That part I kind of like in the attic because there were the flashlight. So they're she comes in, the lady comes in, and then they're running from her and hides, and then they flick on the flashlight, and then you see her face, and then they turn it off, and you flick it on, and they see her face, and she's closer and closer.
Yeah.
And then they drop the flashlight and start spinning, and then you see her all over the place. Like, I thought that was really cool, that shot.
Yeah, it was.
I just wish they made her a little bit scarier looking, And then that's when we see the lady actually. Annie grabs the flashlight again, and the woman actually walks to Annie, and I forgot what she says. She says, she's here to bring her home."
Yeah, she's bringing her home.
Yeah, she's never gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
And then we see like the mother's shadow is like flaying around. It's the shadow of the mother flaying around. Cast by the actual woman, and then we see the woman grabs Annie, and they just like disappear.
Yes.
Turn into shadows.
So the mom goes to go look for her, and she goes downstairs, and then she ends up in that video where at the beginning where it's like, I had a dream that we bought this house and we named it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then she's like laying with him and stuff like that. and then she realizes that ours are backwards.
Yeah, like everything was backwards. Like I think she first noticed like
his tattoo.
His tattoo was backwards.
His tattoo.
Yeah. And then she was looking around like,
and then the clock was backwards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm not in the real world.
Yeah. And then he grabs her. Puts like I think it was like the covers over her or something, like the sheets, and he grabs her and stuff like that. And then she wakes up. Now that's when she wakes up, and now she's the one sitting in the chair.
She's the lady in black.
Which I thought, was like, holy crap. I thought that was crazy when that first happened. I was like, holy crap. Now she's the one sitting there. Like, what's going to happen? Yeah. And then she ends up seeing herself walking outside, walking up to her like it just happened earlier in the movie. And then that's when we hear her say, what am I doing here or something like that.
Yeah, and that's how did I get here?
How did I get here? That's what she said earlier. So it was kind of like playing back at you, and I was like, holy crap, this is cool.
Yeah. And then
so she starts pulling on the shawl. Ramona's like pulling on the shawl, trying to get it off her face. And she says, I'm drowning. And then we hear the lady in black says, today's the day, Ramona.
Yeah.
And then after she takes it off, now she's back in the attic. Oh yeah, now we see her. This part was like very trippy. It was a lot of stuff going on. But she wakes up from sitting there. Now she's the one. Instead of seeing the lady and the lady, it's her walking up to her daughter, saying like, "Oh, I'm here to bring you home."
Yeah.
Don't be afraid and stuff like that. And then they show her. There's a lot of stuff going on. Then they show her stabbing Annie. Shows her stabbing her. I think they're in a room, sitting in the bedroom or something like, and she ends up stabbing Annie and then wakes up from that as well.
The next part I have is where they're at the part where she's trying to help her. She's asking her if she's trying to help her, like she's trying to get her to kill herself. So she says she's gonna set them free. So the mom wants Annie and Taylor to leave. So she goes to the shed to go kill herself.
Yeah.
And the woman in black helps her point the gun at the self, but then she decides she's not going to kill herself. She decides today's not the day.
Yeah, because I do. Okay. So right when she was in the bedroom is when she showed herself stabbing Annie, but waking up. And then we see the woman in the bedroom with her walks in and she's like, hey, it's the day, she was trying to explain why she was going to do it. So she was saying like, every time you woke up in the morning, what did you say? Please give me strength. Yeah. And it wasn't strength to get up during the day. It was strength to, get rid of yourself,
Exactly.
And then she was saying, like, this is something you wanted to do for a while. And, I'm giving you the strength. This is why I'm here, because you've been asking for me. Yes. This is why I'm here. You wanted help with this. So I'm thinking maybe the woman in the yard is actually Death, maybe.
Yeah, like the Grim Reaper.
She's Grim Reaper, like and she's like, all right, you ready to kill yourself? I'm here to, facilitate that, and let's get a move on. So then that's when we see Ramona goes, hey, all right, that's fine. Yeah. But let me go say goodbye to my kids. Yeah. And then that's when she walks out the house with the kids and tells them to leave. Don't worry about me. And then we see Annie gives her little stuffed animal penguin to her.
Yeah, the little penguin.
It says to watch, she's going to watch over you. And then that's when she's in the barn with the shed with the gun. She's trying to kill herself. And then what I did like about this scene is showing the woman is like constantly putting her hand on the gun, trying to hurry up and get her to do it.
Yeah.
And like pushing her to do it, and she's like, hurry up, get this over with. I have other things to do. And I like that part. And then she keeps on, while that's happening, she's constantly looking at the penguin.
Yeah.
And then they show, like, they do this in other movies. Anytime someone kill themselves, they don't show, they just show like the outside, and then you hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
So they actually did it with this. They just showed the outside of the house, thinking like, all right, we're waiting for the gunshot, and then it never came. Then we see her walking out.
Yeah.
Um,
She's like, today is not the day.
Yeah. She's like, yeah. And then while she's walking out, the kids actually come back. And then I think I'm gonna say
they walk back up. Charlie is alive. The power comes back on.
Yeah, Howard's comes back on. And they're like, oh, is she ever gonna come back? And they're like, not today, but we'll be ready if she comes back. They say.
Yep. And then it shows Ramona as a signed picture at the end.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know her name was Ramona at the beginning of the movie, right?
I think they did. Yeah, I think they did say
Oh, okay.
I think they said maybe once or twice when she was talking to her husband or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Also, one other thing I forgot. When the woman was trying to get her, like telling her, all right, you need to do this, she was saying, don't worry, the kids will be better in their better hands.
Oh, yeah.
And they were showing pictures of the future of the kids, how they're doing well without her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, she thinks she's a bad mother. She's depressed. She's all this stuff. And she's showing, hey, don't worry, they're better without you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, then they showed a close up on this painting because we find out like throughout early in the movie she's a painter. She just hadn't painted anything in a while. And they show this close up of the painting and then has her name as backwards. And like, holy crap. So what they're saying in here is like, all right, when she went through that mirror world, she's been just stuck. She hasn't left it, you know?
Yeah.
When she went through that tunnel, yeah, it was the tunnel, and then she was in that mirror world. It's pretty crazy. So I was letting you know it's not a happy ending. She's stuck in this mirror world, so most likely she killed herself probably. Either that's what they're saying, but my thing is, I think she was in that mirror world a long time ago. When I think she was probably in the mirror world right at the accident. Because think about it. If the woman in the yard is Death, we're thinking her as Death. Yeah. She's seen her right before the accident. So
that is true.
You see Death right at the right before you die, or right you're about to die, you see Death. So that's probably when she died.
Yeah. I didn't look at it like that. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
That's an interesting view to look at it.
Yeah. And that's why the Mars backwards.
All right. So my question to you is, what would you rate this movie?
I'm gonna give it 3 stars.
3?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Solid horror movie. I wish it had a little bit more time. I wish once the woman gets into the house, I wanted more creepy stuff. I wanted more scares, horror, haunting, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I like the concept. I like, they're talking about grief, all that stuff, and the mother's not right in the head. It kind of reminds me like some similar movies we watched, like The Others. It's kind of similar to that. There's this other movie called His House. It's a really good movie. It kind of reminds me of that movie where it's hard to, I don't want to spoil it. It has like another twist at the end as well, and it's kind of very similar, but it's about like a black family who came in from Africa. They're like refugees, and they came to this house and they're getting haunted. But there's like a whole big thing from it. But it's really good. It's really good. I'll show you a trailer.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. But like I said, good solid horror movie. Good acting by the lady who played Ramona. Great acting.
Yes.
Yeah. Great shots too. So what are you giving it?
I'm stuck between 2.5 and 3.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go 2.75.
Okay. 2.75.
You know me, I gotta be extra.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, like I said, it's good, solid movie. It's very short, but I think they did the right stuff with that time. Definitely trippy. Yeah, it's good overall horror movie. I'm.
Ever since you brought up to me that she's probably stuck in this other world or whatever, it's making more sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe she's in it now. But then you're like, oh, the daughter doing her R's backwards.
Yeah.
And they show the painting at the end. And then you brought up about how she saw Death at the car accident. I'm like, those 3 things could have led her to be there ever since the accident happened.
Yep.
So it all makes sense.
Yep.
All makes sense.
All makes
so you know
sense.
what? Maybe I'll give 3. Maybe I'll give 3. Okay. Yeah, I'll give 3.
Yeah, that's I didn't think about the death part with the accident, but yeah, I just now because I'm thinking, all right, the backwards R. So if she's in the mirror world and the backwards R, so what? How did she get there? I'm thinking, all right, it has to be the car accident.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, because she's seen her in the rearview mirror. So makes sense. She's just reliving this stuff over and over again. But yeah, really good. So guys, let us know what you thought of Woman in the Yard. Did you like it? Did you not? Did you see it in theaters? I don't know how I feel if I seen this in a theater. Like if I'm seeing something in theater, I want it to be really, really good.
Yeah.
This is a solid movie. It's really short though. If I'm going to theaters, like an hour and 20 something minute movie in the theaters, I don't know. That's
spending $15 on a ticket for that.
It's like, dang, if I'm getting out and it ain't midnight or something, like, dang, like, I can still go do something else when I'm getting out of this movie. Yeah, guys, let us know. Make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel, What the Real Podcast. And you can check out our email. What's our email?
podcastwhatthereal@gmail.com.
Yes, guys. So make sure you do that. Any comments, suggestions, all that. And also make sure you follow us and all those podcast apps out there and rate us. How many stars?
5 stars, guys.
Yes. Make sure you do that. So, yeah, guys, thank you for listening. Make sure you follow. Make sure you we're trying to grow the podcast. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel. So make sure you do that and help us out. So, yeah, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode, not the X episode, the next episode. All right, I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Peace out.